What is up, everybody? Today we are back out on some fresh water, looking for some yellow perch and crappies. Probably only got about an hour before this coastal storm that's moving up the coast is going to hit us, so we're going to try and get in and get out. Going to be fishing a few different techniques. I'll show you them real quick. All right, so today we're going to be fishing just a Bobby Garland baby shad in the diamond mist color, and all I'm going to be pairing it with is a 1/16 ounce jig, about, I don't know, 2.5 feet under a float. I'm just going to feed this on as far as I can. All right, I just cast it right in front of me. I think there's like a bunch of brush ahead of me, which is like a perfect natural habitat for crappie to hang on. Oh, look at that. Oh, you see the bobber going under? Had it hit and missed it. That's a good sign though. Man. Oh. Got him. Oh, I pulled him. How'd I pull that? Oh my gosh, man, I am like, oh, there we go. There we go. Had to let him take it that time. I was about to say, man, I am freaking striking out early on. All right, that's the first one on the float rig. I'll tell you what, man, these guys are such a good time in the winter. They're also pretty good to eat, honestly, but I actually wasn't planning on keeping any today just because I got enough meat in the freezer and fridge that I don't want to take more than what I need type thing. And to be honest with you, man, I like fresh fish. You know, it sounds pretty, oh, there's another fish. Sounds pretty, you know, elitist, but if I have the chance to catch and eat fresh fish, man, I'd rather do that than freeze it. The freezer's kind of meant for like last ditch, run out of options type food. That's not a bad one either. Oh man, we're marking some fish under us right now. See that? Look at that, man. Something grabbed it and dropped it. Oh, man, thumped it. Look at this guy. Whew. Today's our day, man. It's nothing better than when you start the day with fish. All right, so today all we're trying to work on is just presenting the bait in the right feeding column. So crappie typically like to stage in the middle of the water column. You know, on occasion you could catch them. Oh, I think we might be getting some. We were getting some on that. Sometimes you get them in the, you know, on the bottom, depending on how deep you're fishing and what time of year. But this time of year, I find that they seem to hang higher in the water column. Oh, there was a fish and I missed it. So the biggest key when you're fishing for crappie, they feed beneath their prey. So you want to suspend your bait slightly above it, where you think they'll be. That way you're putting it in the right feeding zone. If you're too far down, I'm not saying you won't catch them, but it makes it a lot harder. Look at that, dude. Look at that guy. Holy smokes. Look at this guy. He absolutely engulfed it. Look at that. Oh man. There we go. Man, look at that. Had something just strike it, but then let it go. Try and get... There we go. Oh, look at that. Got him. Just took a jig. Man. They are such fun. That guy swallowed it. Luckily though, it didn't go too far. I could get that out without harming the guy. Good old paper mouth. All right, let's keep working this little ledge that, in fact, I want to mark this. Damn, oh, missed him. Oh, they must be stacked right where I'm casting, because it's just on every time I cast it out. Look at that. Look at that, man. It's hard to beat a float rig this time of year too. It's just like simple, you know, casual fishing, man. Don't have to be the world's greatest fisherman. You don't need to spend $1 million on tackle. You get, you know, a pack of floats, a pack of jigs, and some baby shads, and you're catching fish. Oh, ripped it out of his mouth. All right, so one of the biggest things that I found to be a critical mistake when you're fishing for crappie like this is not adjusting your float if you're not catching fish. You know, once you know an area is holding fish and you've made multiple casts and you haven't caught anything, first thing I'm gonna do, at least if I'm fishing for crappie, is adjust the float. And you know, sometimes you could have your bait too high, you could have it too low, and my rule of thumb, whatever the depth that I'm fishing, I try and keep it slightly above half of where, you know, the depth. So if I'm fishing, like, let's say 10 feet of water, I'm trying to keep my bait somewhere in the 5-foot depth column. Oh, there we go. I had to find him again. On a day like this, man, when there's little to no wind, man, it is one of the most fun you could have fishing with a float. Man, that's actually not a bad one either. Look at this, man. All right. Try and take a cast right there. I'll tell you, the other beauty of fishing, man, in the wintertime, I know it sounds crazy, but, you know, I haven't seen a soul out here in the last 3 times I've been here. And, you know, usually every winter you'll pass some kayakers working out or people on, like, John boats, but I don't know what it is with our society, man. Some people just, we've gotten softer. And that's no dig on, you know, any specific group of people, but, you know, I know guys that, good friends of mine that'll tell me that they only fish in the summertime. I just couldn't imagine, you know, taking off a extended period of time from fishing, you know, just because it was a slightly cold out. I mean, don't get me wrong, the high this morning was about 33, which ain't bad actually for this time of year. 33 is like springtime weather. All right, let's try another cast this way. Why I was saying I like fishing this way when there's little to no wind, you don't have to anchor. You could hold a spot like we are right now. You know, I think we're moving 0.1 miles per hour, so it's ideal to work a certain area. I mean, granted, we could anchor, but oh, there we go. I always thought less is more, you know what I mean? If I have to anchor, it's got to be like a last ditch thing. Man, look at that guy. It's not a bad sized crappie either. Sure beats those winter blues, man. All right, cast that out that way. I'll tell you what, man, not having much wind is probably the greatest thing that you could have in the winter time. I could live, honestly. I could fish in, you know, sub-freezing weather like we have all winter. But man, when there's wind, it makes it so difficult. Days like today, man, I just thank my lucky stars that there's not a ton of wind, because we probably wouldn't be fishing this method. We'd probably be drop shotting or bouncing the bottom, honestly, just because it'd be pretty tough to effectively fish this way. Oop, something's messing with it. See that? There we go. Man, something about that float going under. Such a good feeling. Little spunky guy, man. Oh, oh, something messing with it. Come on. There we go. Let's go. Sometimes, man, you just gotta try and finesse them to bite again, because a lot of times they're grabbing the back end of it, like the tail. So if I get like something like that, what I'll end up doing is just a little twitch, nothing too crazy, especially in the colder months when the water temp's super cold. You know, they do have a tendency to be a little lethargic, so you got to be a little bit more patient. You know, it's not like in the warmer months like the spring and summer where you could just power jig and work your baits pretty quick. I feel like slower is the way to go in the winter. Oh, look at that. Oh man, look at that. That was pretty cool. Look at this guy. Holy moly. He wanted that. He freaking pulled the free willy, man. He was like out of the water. That's pretty cool. Nice little tail slap to say goodbye to me. Now, there's no right or wrong bait. Today I'm using Bobby Garland baby shad in the color Diamond Mist. One of my good friends, Dave, honestly taught me a lot about crappie fishing. And you know, oh man, I keep losing them right at the kayak. My buddy Dave, though, taught me everything I know, man, when it comes to crappie. You know, I grew up catching them up on the river, but you know, when I was a kid, it was kind of trial and error. My buddy Dave kind of like took me under his wing and taught me everything I need to know. And you know, that's one of the beauties of fishing, man. If you learn a technique or you learn something that you can apply, it's so much more worthwhile than asking somebody for fishing spots. You know, I know guys, they're struggling to catch fish, and the first thing they say is like, oh, can you give me spots? But realistically, if you're emulating what we're doing and I'm emulating what I learned, you're gonna end up catching fish. Okay, man, that one slammed it. I don't think this is a crappie. That one just absolutely smoked it. No way is this a crappie. No way. Yeah, I was about to say. Holy moly. Ah, big old slime dart. Man, I literally saw that float torpedo under, and I knew. I don't think it was going to be a crappie. Not a bad one. Oh man, these guys. Oh man, too, look at that. That's perfect where it got hooked. That way I don't lose my jig, and I don't think I have to retie because it's hooked in the side.